जो मेन लाइन है उसमें पटरी का काम कंप्लीट हो गया है, ऊपर बिजली के तार का और बाकी सब चीज़ों का काम चल रहा है। साथ ही साथ आज बालेश्वर डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल में हो, सोरो के मेडिकल में हो, भद्रक के मेडिकल में हो और कटक के मेडिकल में सब जगह पेशेंट्स के साथ भी जिस तरह से उनकी अच्छी चिकित्सा की सुविधा हो रही है वो भी देख के आए। और सब जगह प्रयास ये चल रहा है कि देश भर में जहाँ से भी पैसेंजर्स आए थे जो इस दुर्घटना में रहे अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उन सब के परिवारजनों के साथ संपर्क करने का भी रेलवे के जरिए से राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलके पूरी तरह से उसका प्रयास भी चल रहा है। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है। धन्यवाद।
राहुल गांधी आपको मांग की है।
Big press briefing happening from the Railway Ministry. This is happening as the train tragedy toll mounts to 275. The Railway Mantri says accident due to change in electronic interlocking, and the preliminary report points to signal glitch. We just dipped into the press conference and made you hear the end of it. If we could play those bites for our viewers, please. Let's bring those bites for our viewers and make them listen in to what the Railway Mantri says. Ashwini Vaishnaw says restoration work is almost over. We're bringing you all the pointers coming in from the Railway Minister's big press briefing. We'll play that interview out for you. But Railway Minister confirms the restoration work is almost over and recommends a larger probe. Listen in.
प्रशासन ने सबने मिलके तुरंत रेस्क्यू का काम चालू किया था। रेस्क्यू के साथ साथ रेस्टोरेशन का काम रेस्क्यू कंप्लीट होते होते रेस्टोरेशन का काम भी साथ चलने लगा। और अभी जिस तरह से तेज़ी से काम चल रहा है, 2 लाइन करीब जो मेन लाइन है उसमें पटरी का काम कंप्लीट हो गया है, ऊपर बिजली के तार का और बाकी सब चीज़ों का काम चल रहा है। साथ ही साथ आज बालेश्वर डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल में हो, सोरो के मेडिकल में हो, भद्रक के मेडिकल में हो और कटक के मेडिकल में सब जगह पेशेंट्स के साथ भी जिस तरह से उनकी अच्छी चिकित्सा की सुविधा हो रही है वो भी देख के आए। और सब जगह प्रयास ये चल रहा है कि देश भर में जहाँ से भी पैसेंजर्स आए थे जो इस दुर्घटना में रहे अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उन सब के परिवारजनों के साथ संपर्क करने का भी रेलवे के जरिए से राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलके पूरी तरह से उसका प्रयास भी चल रहा है। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सबको ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है। धन्यवाद।
राहुल गांधी आपको मांग की है।
जिला प्रशासन ने सबने मिलकर
The minister did not answer any questions as far as the politicking on the back of this is concerned, but he said that the restoration work is almost complete. This was going on alongside the rescue and relief operation that was taking place. He also says CBI is going to be probing this particular tragedy, and Ashwini Vaishnaw, the railway minister, has now recommended a CBI probe into this matter. That was the railway minister taking stock of the situation and briefing the press and the viewers on what is going on. A couple of key pointers. Number one, he says that while the rescue and relief operation was going on, the restoration work was over. Number two, he says there will be a CBI probe into this train tragedy. Indrajit Kundu is now joining us. Indrajit, the situation, of course, does merit a larger probe, and the Railway Minister has recommended a CBI probe. Are you picking up any first-up reactions from the next of kin of the victims and the deceased?
Well, Chaiti, these are early times, but this is definitely a big announcement coming in from Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, handing over this case to the Central Bureau of Investigation. There will be several questions that will now be asked, because generally, whenever the CBI is involved in any cases, and just a few days back we saw what happened in Manipur, where the Home Minister went there and handed over the case to CBI as well. So, starkly different, two different cases. So when there is a security challenge and when there is a law and order issue, that's when the CBI is called in. This is a real tragedy. This is an accident. And for the CBI to probe an accident does hint at something else. So is there a foul play angle that is now being probed by the government? That would be the big question for the Rail Minister and the government to answer. But this does come in as a very surprising move on part of the Modi government to hand over the probe to CBI of a rail tragedy of this scale that has taken place. That has never taken place in India before. It clearly would raise some more questions. It would rather raise more questions than answer some of the questions that have already been there, Chaiti.
Absolutely. This is going to be raising many more questions than answers. And now Ashwini Vaishnaw has said that the CBI probe will be probing this particular train tragedy. He said situation does merit a probe by the CBI. And as Indrajit pointed out, too early to get reactions on how the next of kin of the victims and deceased are feeling about the manner in which the Railway Minister has handled the situation. So we'll continue getting those reactions for you in moments from now. But this is a story that is fast moving. Let's listen in to Ashwini Vaishnaw once again.
परिस्थितियां हैं बालेश्वर में जो दर्दनाक दुर्घटना हुई उसके तुरंत बाद सभी ने मिलके रेलवे ने बालेश्वर के सोरो के भद्रक के साथियों ने बंधुओं ने जिला प्रशासन ने सब ने मिलके तुरंत रेस्क्यू का काम चालू किया था। रेस्क्यू के साथ साथ रेस्टोरेशन का काम रेस्क्यू कंप्लीट होते होते रेस्टोरेशन का काम भी साथ चलने लगा। और अभी जिस तरह से तेज़ी से काम चल रहा है, 2 लाइन करीब जो मेन लाइन है उसमें पटरी का काम कंप्लीट हो गया है, ऊपर बिजली के तार का और बाकी सब चीज़ों का काम चल रहा है। साथ ही साथ आज बालेश्वर डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल में हो, सोरो के मेडिकल में हो, भद्रक के मेडिकल में हो और कटक के मेडिकल में सब जगह पेशेंट्स के साथ भी जिस तरह से उनकी अच्छी चिकित्सा की सुविधा हो रही है वो भी देख के आए। और सब जगह प्रयास ये चल रहा है कि देश भर में जहाँ से भी पैसेंजर्स आए थे जो इस दुर्घटना में रहे अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उन सब के परिवारजनों के साथ संपर्क करने का भी रेलवे के जरिए से राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलके पूरी तरह से उसका प्रयास भी चल रहा है। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है। बालेश्वर
My colleague Munish Pandey is now joining us on the phone line for the very latest on this story. Munish, the Railway Minister has been clear that he would like this to be probed by the CBI because the situation merits a probe by the CBI. At this point, where does the investigation stand and how is the CBI planning to take this forward?
Well, Chaiti, at this point of time, the criminal angle in this entire tragic incident has not been ruled out. Apart from that, if there was any negligence from any railway officer or not, that is also not ruled out. And that is why the Railway Minister, Ashwini Vaishnaw, has recommended CBI inquiry into this matter. The recommendation first came from the Railway Board, and now the Railway Minister has confirmed that they will be recommending this matter to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Chati, remember earlier Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he visited Odisha and Balasore, then also he said that those who are behind this, those who are responsible for this incident and accident, they will not be, the government will not leave any stone unturned to punish them, and there will be a severe punishment to all those who are responsible for it. And that is why, taking a view from the centre, the Railway Minister is of the opinion that the matter should be investigated by the Central Bureau of Investigation. As per the procedure, the centre will be recommending this matter to the DOPT, and the Central Bureau of Investigation may file an FIR within a day or two to investigate this matter, which means that all the documents which have been collected so far by the Railway Department, by the local police, those documents will be handed over to the Central Bureau of Investigation. And as far as CBI is concerned, CBI has a reputation of, investigating such matters, and in such matters, what we have seen in past, that CBI has been one of the best agencies in the country to probe such incidents, and if there is any criminal activity, they will be the best agency to carry an investigation. Chatty.
Interesting, Munish. The bigger question that Munish put forth is about whether there was criminal negligence or not, and CBI will now be probing this particular matter entirely. Aditya Vaibhav is also with us. Aditya, there was an official who warned that there was a signal maintenance system that was not corrected and that needed to be corrected immediately. We are also in possession of that particular report. It's clear that the warning signs and the red flags were clearly ignored.
Well, exactly, Chati. Of course, the red flags were ignored, and this was the reason behind the magnitude of casualty that this particular location actually withstood. Interesting to note here is the fact that the way the Railway Board has technically decided to recommend a CBI probe into the entire matter is something that actually raises questions on the sabotage angle that can be likely on the entire episode. Interesting to note here is the fact that when the crew of India Today tried to barge into the actual, you can say, site where the bogies were put, there was an actual technical cordon that was put in place by the authorities, state government authorities, and of course railway authorities there, and the people were actually not allowed to go into that. So that was something that actually indicated that there could be a sabotage angle, because if at all people are not allowed to go there, there could be something like an evidence which have to be collected and which will be collected for further probe. So this is something that has made serious implications over the entire investigation, and that if at all a technical glitch was there, some engineering or specialized expert, you can say, agency could have been employed. But then if at all CBI is called, of course there could be something like a sabotage angle or even a criminal negligence, Chaiti.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right there. And Aditya, at this point, you are reporting from the scene where this happened. The Railway Minister also just mentioned that alongside the rescue work, there's restoration work also that's complete. If you could give us a stock of the situation as it stands right now.
Well, exactly, Chati. As far as the restoration work is concerned, we have been given to understand that only one line, which is the down line of this entire stretch, is actually declared fit for, you can say, use, and that the up line is still yet to be made technically fit for the entire scene. So this is something you can say that the authorities are technically working on it, but then there needs to be a proper answer to actually what actually led to the deaths of so many people, and also that how many the entire incident left hundreds of people, you can say almost more than that injured. So this is something that has actually raised eyebrows of one and all, and even the Railway Minister and his colleague Dharmendra Pradhan actually faced very stiff questions of the media when they were on ground to probe into the matter. So this is something that actually highlights the fact that even the railway believes that the Central Bureau of Investigation must be called so as to ensure that such repetition never reoccurs again.
And the driver error, has that been ruled out or not, Aditya?
Well, this is something that needs to be understood and also deciphered very properly, because negligence is something that is very subjective and that is to be dealt with by the subject matter experts. But then, if at all there is negligence that led to the deaths of as many people as was caused in this particular railway mishap, there of course is a criminal angle to it still. But then there is a CBI recommendation by the railway board, and we'll have to wait and see what actually transpires into the CBI probe.
Indrajit Kundu is also with us. Indrajit, a lot is being spoken about this sabotage angle as well. What is it, and what is the further probe into the sabotage angle?
Well, Chalti, let's put things in context first. You know, the Prime Minister came yesterday and he held a press conference at the hospital saying that strict action would be initiated against those who are found responsible, or those who are found responsible behind this terrible tragedy, this accident that took place. Now, that was a hint, it seems. And then this morning, the railway minister said that they have been able to identify the root cause of this entire accident. So, as I said, it's highly unlikely that the CBI deals with such cases. It deals with criminal investigation. It deals with a lot of scams. But a railway accident, and the CBI is going to probe that, of course, raises a lot of questions. And the first question that, of course, comes to mind is that, is there a sabotage angle to this entire thing? So clearly, all angles will be proven, whether, there was a mistake, whether there was a technical fault, whether there was a human error. As is being said that there could be a signal failure. What could be behind that signal failure? Was that an unintentional human error? Was that a mechanized fault? Or was there something else? That's the question that, of course, is getting fueled with this decision. The railway minister, of course, saying that this was a recommendation of the railway board, and which the railway ministry is going to accept. So in that sense, the CBI taking over this case is going to be very, very crucial. 275 lives lost. There has to be some amount of accountability. Somebody will have to be, taken to task. The buck needs to stop somewhere. The opposition, of course, has said that a buck stops at the railway minister's desk. He's the one who actually should resign. However, we've seen how Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to this very spot yesterday. He was flagged by the railway minister.
Be with us. For our viewers who have just tuned in, we're going to be playing out that particular address by the railway minister once again for our viewers to know what he has to say on this.
बालेश्वर में जो दर्दनाक दुर्घटना हुई, उसके तुरंत बाद सभी ने मिलके, रेलवे ने, बालेश्वर के, सोरो के, भद्रक के साथियों ने, बंधुओं ने, जिला प्रशासन ने, सब ने मिलके तुरंत रेस्क्यू का काम चालू किया था। रेस्क्यू के साथ साथ रेस्टोरेशन का काम रेस्क्यू कंप्लीट होते होते रेस्टोरेशन का काम भी साथ चलने लगा। और अभी जिस तरह से तेज़ी से काम चल रहा है, 2 लाइन करीब जो मेन लाइन है उसमें पटरी का काम कंप्लीट हो गया है, ऊपर बिजली के तार का और बाकी सब चीज़ों का काम चल रहा है। साथ ही साथ आज बालेश्वर डिस्ट्रिक्ट हॉस्पिटल में हो, सोरो के मेडिकल में हो, भद्रक के मेडिकल में हो और कटक के मेडिकल में, सब जगह पेशेंट्स के साथ भी जिस तरह से उनकी अच्छी चिकित्सा की सुविधा हो रही है वो भी देख के आए। और सब जगह प्रयास ये चल रहा है कि देश भर में जहाँ से भी पैसेंजर्स आए थे जो इस दुर्घटना में रहे अनफॉर्चुनेटली, उन सब के परिवारजनों के साथ संपर्क करने का भी रेलवे के जरिए से राज्य सरकारों के साथ मिलके पूरी तरह से उसका प्रयास भी चल रहा है। जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है, और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए, आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है.
We'd also like to play out what the Prime Minister said yesterday. Listen in.
सरकार के लिए ये घटना अत्यंत गंभीर है. हर प्रकार की जांच के निर्देश दिए गए हैं और जो भी दोषी पाया जाएगा उसको सख्त से सख्त सजा हो, उसे बख्शा नहीं जाएगा.
All right, we'll continue asking the right questions, demand accountability as well from those who are responsible to give out the right kind of answers. This is one of the worst tragedies seen by the country as far as the railways is concerned. We'll get you more updates as we go along the way. For now, that's it from me, Shayati Narula, on this bulletin. Keep watching India Today.
Muslim League is a completely secular party.
Right.
There's nothing non-secular about Muslim League.
Rahul Gandhi's description of the Indian Union Muslim League as a secular party has triggered a political storm. The Congress leader was replying to a question on the IUML, his party's ally in Kerala, at a press conference in Washington, D.C.
You talked about secularism and democracy while opposing the Hindu party BJP. However, Congress in Kerala has been in alliance with the Muslim party, Muslim League in Kerala, the state from which you were MP for more than, the state you are the MP for more than 70 years.
Muslim League is a completely secular party.
Right.
There's nothing non-secular about the Muslim League.
The BJP claims the IUML has its roots in Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League and blamed it for dividing India on religious lines.
I don't blame him. It's in his DNA. But I think it's extremely unfortunate. Certain people worship the family. He goes abroad, denigrates the country, the Prime Minister and all its citizens. I think this is not acceptable.
तो हम सब लोगों ने सुना होगा पहले कि किसी का दिमाग 7वें आसमान पे पहुंच जाए तो उसे कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. मुझे लगता है राहुल गांधी जब 7 समंदर पार जाते हैं तो उनका दिमाग पता नहीं कहां हो जाता है.
ये वो मुस्लिम लीग है जिससे
The Congress, however, drew a clear distinction between Jinnah's Muslim League and the IUML. The party points out that the RSS and Jinnah's Muslim League stayed out of the civil disobedience movement.
जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग अलग है और यहाँ केरल में मुस्लिम लीग है वो अलग है. दिग्भ्रमित करने के लिए लगातार इस प्रकार की बातें वो कर रहे हैं.
जिस मुस्लिम लीग का उन्होंने उदाहरण दिया है वो केरला की है और उस मुस्लिम लीग में हिंदू भी मेंबर है. ये आपको जानकारी नहीं होगी और एक समय पर हिंदू मुस्लिम लीग का अध्यक्ष हुआ करता था.
Rahul Gandhi represented Wayanad, a Muslim majority seat in the Lok Sabha, before being disqualified from parliament. The BJP has mocked Rahul, claiming he made the remark to remain acceptable in his constituency. Bureau Report, India Today.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today.
You are watching India Today.
Very good evening and thank you for being with us on India Today. I'm Shayati Narula, getting you all the top stories. Let's begin this broadcast with the top headlines first. As the train tragedy toll mounts to 275, Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw recommends a CBI probe Odisha train tragedy after Prime Minister Modi's promise.
आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया गया.
Big India Today exclusive news break. Official flagged serious flaws in the signalling system in February. Sought immediate action. Was the red flag ignored? Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's scathing attack at the BJP. Says centre downplaying death toll and Odisha government did not provide medical treatment for the victims. Amidst the opposition backlash, government comes out in full support of Ashwini Vaishnaw, says earlier rail ministers limited to photo ops. Opposition reiterates demand for Ashwini's resignation. The External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar takes potshots at Rahul Gandhi over his remarks on Modi in the US, says there are things bigger than politics when you go overseas.
There is a national interest, there is a collective image. There are sometimes things bigger than politics. And when you step outside the country, I think that's important to remember.
Chandrababu Naidu meets Home Minister Amit Shah in Delhi amidst talks of TDP interest in getting back to the NDA fold. Sources say BJP, TDP to contest Andhra, Telangana polls in an alliance. Union Railways Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw has recommended a CBI probe into the Odisha train tragedy. However, the initial probe has suggested a glitch in the signalling system. Here's a complete report.
जो भी दोषी पाया जाएगा उसको सख्त से सख्त सजा हो, उसे बख्शा नहीं जाएगा।
A day after Prime Minister Modi vowed strict action against those responsible for the Odisha train tragedy, the Railway Board has recommended a CBI probe into the matter.
जिस सिचुएशन में ये दुर्घटना हुई है और जो परिस्थितियां हैं उन सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए जो कुछ अब तक का एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है उस सब को ध्यान में रखते हुए आगे की इंक्वायरी के लिए आगे के इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए इस केस को, इस पूरे मामले को सीबीआई के पास देने का रेलवे बोर्ड की तरफ से रिकमेंडेशन किया जा रहा है।
Initial probe has revealed that one of the worst rail tragedies of India could have occurred due to a signalling interference.
हमें लगता है कि सिग्नलिंग में कुछ गड़बड़ हुई है, लेकिन ये प्राइमा फेसी कारण है और वो मेरी तरफ से गैर जिम्मेदाराना होगा अगर वो मैं पब्लिक करूं, क्योंकि रेलवे एक इतना कॉम्प्लेक्स सिस्टम है जिसको कि अगर पूरी जांच किए बिना हम किसी भी निष्कर्ष पर पहुंच जाए, प्राइमा फेसी हमें पता है कि क्या हुआ है, लेकिन नहीं प्राइमा फेसी है, आई विल नॉट शेयर इट इज अ कॉन्फिडेंशियल इंफॉर्मेशन.
Indian Railways has clarified that the Coromandel Express went into a wrong loop track at the interlocking point at the Bahanagar Bazaar station in Balasore. Railways pointed out that the electronic signalling system, despite having a 0.1% chance of failure, could have faced issues with the cables.
Had Kavach been here, it would have been on the locomotive, it would have been on the track. Now, from what we understand what happened, this locomotive, even if it went on a wrong route and it found that the track ahead was occupied, it had only barely maybe 100 meters to go before that obstruction was to come. So in this particular scenario where the reaction time was so short and the distance was so short and the speed was so high, it was just a question of a few seconds.
Railways clarified that the Kavach indigenous anti-rail collision system had no role in the mishap.
ये एक indigenous development है. ये भारत का अपना बनाया हुआ सिस्टम है जो कि एक एंटी कोलिजन सिस्टम है. We are very, very proud of this and we hope that tomorrow we will be able to export it to the rest of the world.
Meanwhile, India Today has accessed a letter written by South Western Railway's Chief Operating Manager, pointing out an instance of serious flaw in signalling system back in February, which was eerily similar to Balasore mishap. Then, a Sampark Kranti Express driver faced a near similar signal glitch, but had managed to avoid crashing into a goods train. The official had warned that if the signal maintenance system was not corrected immediately, it could lead to a recurrence and serious accidents.
जो ऐसा ही हादसा होते होते बचा, उसके पश्चात की रिपोर्ट है। ये रिपोर्ट भी मैं आपको सर्कुलेट कर रहा हूं, हस्ताक्षर हैं इस पे साउथ वेस्टर्न रेलवे के एजीएम के, जब वो बता रहे हैं कि ये सिग्नलिंग जो इंटरलॉकिंग सिस्टम है इसमें खोट है, अगर जल्दी ही इस खोट को दूर नहीं किया जाए तो इस तरह के हादसे होते रहेंगे। 9 फरवरी को ये रिपोर्ट सर्कुलेट हुई रेलवे मिनिस्ट्री में, उसके पश्चात क्या कदम उठाए गए ये भी हम जानना चाहते हैं।
We've been told by the railway officials that there has been the driver ascertaining that he did see the green signal and that is why he moved forward. This is all part of the investigation which the Railways is currently working on, but inside the war room monitoring goes on continuously, even several hours after the horrific Balasore accident has taken more than 250 lives. With Sanjeev in New Delhi, Milan Sharma for India Today.
What will the CBI probe entail now? They'll find out the exact cause of the train crash that took place, of this horrific Odisha tragedy crash that took place. The exact cause will be ascertained. Point number 2, they will figure out whether technical glitch or was it even human negligence that caused this. Number 3, if there was any kind of a sabotage involved, then that's the angle they will probe too. Number 4, fixing responsibility of the crash is what they will look at. Number 5, if any rail staffer had any role to play as far as this tragedy is concerned. And if the signal system malfunctioned or not, that is another point that they will be probing further as far as this tragedy is concerned. They will also further goes on to find out the cause of the killer electric circuit snag. So these are the top 7 points in terms of what we are expecting from the CBI probe. The locals of Odisha's Balasore were the first to rush to people's rescue when the horrific triple train collision happened on Friday. From pulling out multiple bodies to providing medical help to the injured, the brave hearts recall the experience of the fateful night. Here's a detailed report.
Overturned coaches, lifeless bodies, injured passengers all around. India's worst train tragedy in more than 2 decades struck Odisha on Friday. Amid blood and death all over, the residents of Balasore emerged as heroes. The people of this sprawling northern Odisha city emerged as the first respondent in a catastrophic tragedy. Hundreds rushed to the accident site immediately after the mishap.
जब तक ललित जिंदा था वो मेरे को मोबाइल दिया था, भाई रोको मेरा मोबाइल रोको, मैं रखा, ठीक है। वो उनको मैं वादा किया था पहुंचाऊंगी, और उनके भाई के साथ बात किया ही था, मेरे को दो दौराए उनको नहीं बचा पाएगी, 4 घंटे के कोशिश की.
Using the faint flashlights of their mobile phones, the residents made their way into the badly mangled coaches, pulling out injured, offering them first aid, rushing them to hospital.
जब इस तरह की स्थिति हो गई थी और अंदर लोग चीखते चिल्लाते हुए लोगों को सहायता के लिए बुला रहे थे, तब आप लोग अंदर गए कंपार्टमेंट के? जी, कंपार्टमेंट के अंदर गए, अपन 8 लोग थे। अपन 8 लोग थे। अब जो मृत हो चुके थे उनसे तो अपनी निगाह पे स्पॉट डेड लोग मिले। हाँ, स्पॉट डेड लोग भी मिले, कुछ गंभीर रूप से घायल थे। किस तरह का चोट? ज्यादा चोटें सर में आई थी, किसी का धड़ अलग था, किसी का सर अलग था, किसी का शरीर सेमी पार्ट ही गायब था, किसी का पैर ही गायब था। इस तरह के भयंकर दृश्य, छत बिछत सौ हम लोगों ने देखा वहाँ पे। तो आप लोगों ने अपने हाथों से निकाला शवों को? जी, हाथों से निकाला। और जो लोग जिंदा बच के मतलब ज्यादा जख्मी नहीं हुए थे उनको भी आप लोगों ने हेल्प किया निकलने में?
जी, उनको हम लोगों ने बस स्टैंड तक भेजा अपनी टीम की मदद से।
Providing a helping hand to cops and fire brigade officials and eventually disaster response teams. Hundreds of Balasore's brave hearts stayed put throughout the night on Saturday, aiding the rescue operations and helping rail officials.
का मालगाड़ी बहुत मालगाड़ी था,
यानी 4 नंबर ट्रैक जो है वहाँ पर एक मालगाड़ी था
और 5 नंबर में
उस तरफ यानी बिल्कुल आउटर सेक्शन में
तारो पछ नांगटा पछपट अछि जणे
यहाँ से और एक ट्रेन गुजर गया
जणे माने ये नीलाबाना जो वो था और यहाँ पे वो ट्रेन आया एक्सप्रेस, ये भाग गया और वो ट्रेन आया। हम इधर से बात करते कथा था हम 2 जन हमारा लेबर में बसचु, वो ट्रेन आया जो मालगाड़ी ना तो ऊपर डायरेक्ट चढ़ गया।
Offering food and water to stranded passengers, rescue workers and officials amid sweltering summer heat. Thanks to these good Samaritans, hundreds of lives were saved from the mangled wreckage of the bogies. Hundreds of Balasore and other cities of Odisha residents flocked to blood banks and hospitals to donate blood for the accident victims. Long queues were seen outside blood banks as people patiently waited for their turn. The selfless rescue work, Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the courage and compassion of the people, saying, "Thank you, Odisha."
मैं उड़ीसा सरकार का भी, यहाँ के प्रशासन के सभी अधिकारियों का, जिन्होंने जिस तरह से इस परिस्थिति में अपने पास जो भी संसाधन थे लोगों की मदद करने का प्रयास किया, मैं यहाँ के नागरिकों का भी हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूँ।
In the darkest moment, the people of Balasore shined with exemplary courage and selflessness. With Indrajit Kundu and Satyajit in Balasore, Bureau Report, India Today.
Heart-wrenching visuals as families stood in long queues to identify their loved ones who lost their lives in one of the worst train disasters in the country's history. Dead bodies of the deceased were kept in cold storage. Efforts are currently underway to identify 200 unclaimed bodies. Here's a detailed report by Indrajit Kundu.
48 hours have passed since the terrible tragedy struck Odisha, and several families, especially of those migrant laborers who were traveling via Coromandel Express, they're yet to identify their loved ones who may have perished in this accident, and the entire process has turned very, very tedious. The Odisha government is trying its level best to help families identify the bodies. In fact, the bodies have now been shifted from various locations to 2 places, Ames, Bhubaneswar and the Nosi Business Park here in Balasore. You can see this is the huge hall in which the bodies have been kept, and also there has been a help desk that has been created with police officials, other officials creating the database. Photographs have been put up so that somehow n number of numerous families who are traveling from various locations can come and identify their loved ones, the dead bodies of their loved ones. We can't show these photographs of these decomposed bodies. The challenge, of course, is that as time passes by, the bodies are decomposing very, very fast. This location, this facility is air conditioned, and therefore the bodies have been brought here. There is a giant screen that have been put in place where the bodies are also being shown, and the family members are desperately looking into these photographs somehow to identify, get some information. There are some families who have been able to identify the photograph, but they're trying to locate the body. There are others who are yet to locate the body or get any information about the whereabouts of their loved ones. These officials are somehow trying to assist those families, whoever is seeking information. So this is, of course, a challenge that's unfolding 48 hours after the terrible catastrophic tragedy that took place at the Bahanagar station in Balasore. With camera person Prasun, Indrajit for India Today in Balasore.
The Data Intelligence Unit of India Today has collated some very critical data to give you a little bit of perspective on what's going on with this attack. Now, the deadliest rail accidents across the world is what we've collated for your understanding. The death toll, I must say, is as of 4 p.m. June 4, 2023. And these are major incidents since 1980. That's the year that we are going with, that since 1980 to now 2023, which are the major incidents that have taken place. The first incident, tsunami train wreck, Sri Lanka, highest number of deaths at 802 viewers. This happened on 26th of December 2004. The Bihar trail derailment in India has been the maximum amount of lives lost at 800. This happened in 1981. In fact, in India, the second highest was Firozabad rail disaster at 358 August 20, 1995. And of course, you see the Gazelle train disaster in India, 285 as of 2nd August 1999. From India, let's bring you the Odisha one, which is the one that we're talking about, and 275, but still counting. This number could well go up as well. This happened, of course, June 2nd, 2023. As you know, because we've been continuously reporting on this incident. The Khanna rail disaster also took place in November 26 in the year 1998, and the death toll is here at 212. Now, just to also tell you which are the other ones. Ulfa train disaster, Soviet Union in 1989, 575 is the death toll. The Avash rail disaster in Ethiopia in 1985, 392 is the death toll. The Al Ayad train disaster in Egypt, 2002, 361 is the death toll, as you can see. Then comes India, which I already spoke to you about, the Firozabad one at 358. The Nishapur train disaster took place in Iran. 320 lives were lost. This happened in 2004. The Tolunda train disaster took place. This happened in Angola. How many lives were lost? 300. September 22nd, 1994 is when this took place. Baku metro fire, this happened in Azerbaijan. What happened in Azerbaijan? 300 lives were lost in the year 1995. Then again, as I was mentioning, the Gazelle train disaster in India, 285 lives lost in 1999. Then in Tanzania, the Ingadu train disaster, how many lives were lost? 281, and this happened in the year 2002. Lastly, Sakur rail disaster, Pakistan, 210 lives lost. This happened in the year 1990. The others from India I've already spoken to you about. Now, the restoration work at the Odisha train accident site continues now in full swing. The authorities have carried out dummy trains to check the tracks. The railway minister announced that the down line was fully cleared. Prime Minister also spoke to Odisha Chief Minister and Railway Minister about the ground situation. Take a look at the complete report.
Over 1,000 personnel with multiple hydraulic excavator, relief trains and road cranes are working round the clock.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी कल स्वयं साइट पे आए थे. साइट पे आके उन्होंने क्लियर सबको निर्देश दिए. उस निर्देशों के हिसाब से कंप्लीट ट्रैक का रिस्टोरेशन चल रहा है.
This is the downlink of Bahanagar railway station, and this downlink has been declared fit by the railway authorities for operations, but then restoration work still continues on the uplink. The restoration work will be completed before Wednesday to ensure that the functioning of this particular railway station starts on Wednesday.
Railways ran test train from Howrah to Balasore with stops in between to check viability of the track. The rail minister announced that the down main line, which was shut after the accident, has been restored. To take stock of the situation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi dialed Rail Minister and Odisha CM Naveen Patnaik. The PM thanked the Odisha CM for the help that people of the state offered to the accident victims. Meanwhile, teams of expert doctors were called in from AIIMS, Delhi, since over 100 accident victims continue to remain in critical condition. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia visited AIIMS, Bhubaneswar, and checked on the medical assistance being provided.
Delhi AIIMS, Lady Harding's हॉस्पिटल, RMLA हॉस्पिटल, सभी जगह से एक्सपर्ट डॉक्टर की टीम एयरफोर्स के स्पेशल प्लेन के द्वारा मॉडर्न इक्विपमेंट और मेडिसिन के साथ अभी पहुंच चुकी है.
Trains carrying the rescued survivors meanwhile reached Chennai in special trains.
Special train from Badrak has reached the MGR Chennai Central Railway Station, and this is the train that's carrying several passengers who were affected due to the train tragedy that took place at Balasore. Several of them have been now brought to Chennai. Around 290 of them are being brought to Chennai at this point in time, and massive arrangements have been put in place here at the Chennai station. In fact, to receive these passengers, the State Health Minister and the Revenue and Disaster Management Minister KKSSR Ramachandran, all of them along with senior officials are here.
But as per families, many passengers still remain unaccounted for. The Odisha government has uploaded images of the dead on websites to help families. With Ritik, Anirban and Indrajit in Balasore, Odisha, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, that's it from me, Chaiti Narula, on this bulletin. Keep watching India Today and don't forget to log on to indiatoday.in or go ahead and download the India Today app.
Azad, I want to ask you, there will be, and it's a question that will be asked on many accounts, there will be questions which will be raised that some of you in the 1983 squad are now have political interests. Question 1, sir. Was this a unanimous decision, or was it a few of you who decided to put together this statement?
Yes, it was. The draft was put up. First, we all talked about it. We were all very much perturbed because we have a WhatsApp group and we were discussing on it. And I was, on occasions, was commenting on it or through my social media and other things. Then a draft was made by the team, by Sunil Gavaskar and me. And then after that draft came out, everybody approved, and then Kapil put it on the media, gave it to the news agencies. So it's a complete team. The full team supports this.
Mr. Azad, one would suggest that in the team, you've been very vocal, but you're also politically active. But the likes of Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, usually very, very neutral and very, very muted. Many would suggest it's a brave, commendable move of all of you to come together, especially the likes of Mr. Gavaskar, who's always been a lot more diplomatic.
Yes, it was him who came forward and suggested that, the way, well, fair enough, we were looking for justice through the law or police enforcement or whatever. But then once we saw the wrestlers being dragged on 28th of May, when they were doing a peaceful protest, just walking, the way they were treated in an inhuman manner, and ultimately they got so much frustrated and lost all faith in the law of the land. When they were going to the Ganges to drop their medals, was when we thought, now enough is enough, because there's a lot of sweat and toil. We having won the World Cup, there's a lot of sweat and toil, a lot of hard work that goes into it, and you win the medal. You are the pride of the nation, and once you're pride of the nation, that medal, you and the medal belongs to the nation. So we've just requested them not to throw the medals, and we want that justice should be done immediately.
It is a historic moment for women in armed forces. Squadron leader Shivani Singh, the first woman pilot of the Indian Air Force to fly the Rafale, took part in the multinational military exercise Orion in France. This is the first time India has sent its Rafale fighter jets to take part in a military drill.
It was a great experience for all of us. We were exposed to challenging missions with compressed timelines. The interaction with the pilots of other nations gave us the overview of their operations as well as their ways of working. The performance of our pilots were at par with all the other nations. The Indian Rafales, being one of the best omni-role fighters in the world, were carrying out all the missions successfully with precision and perfection.
Squadron leader Shivangi Singh had earlier flown extensively in exercises during the border standoff with China.
हमारी चुनौती एयरक्राफ्ट से ही रिलेटेड है और एयरक्राफ्ट वहाँ पे अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है. इसकी वजह से ही हम अभी भी वहाँ पे हैं एंड हम सारे एक्सपेक्टेशंस को मीट कर पा रहे हैं.
Shivangi Singh joined the Air Force in 2017. She is part of the 17th Squadron, the Golden Arrows based in Ambala. Before flying the Rafale, Shivangi also flew MiG-21 Bison.
2 squadrons of Rafale fighter aircraft are deployed in the Ambala and Hashimara near China border. The men and women pilots of the squadron are making the country proud both globally and internally in the situation like the one in Ladakh. With camera person Anil Jaiswal, this is Manjit Negi for India Today.
A bold experiment in women's empowerment. A self-help group led by the Panchayat head of Dawa village in Bihar's Bhojpur district has set up a plant to manufacture sanitary napkins. They are not only providing sanitary pads at a low cost to women in rural areas, but also creating employment opportunities for women.
ये जो योजना है ये हम लोगों ने बेसिकली उस वक्त शुरू किया जब कोरोना का दौर चल रहा था. तो ये चीज़ समझा गया कि बाहर जो हमारे यहाँ से महिलाएं जा रही हैं उन लोगों को यहाँ रोका जाए और कुछ ना कुछ एक सोर्स ऑफ अर्निंग बनाई जाए. और हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा औरतों को सैनिटरी जो शब्द है उससे परिचित करवाएं और मेंस्ट्रुएशन साइकिल में जो हम सैनिटरी का यूज़ करते हैं उसकी उनको आदत डलवाएं.
The women go door to door selling sanitary napkins. They spread awareness among villagers about menstrual hygiene.
जो बच्ची किशोरियां हैं वो लेना नहीं जानती थी पहले, जिसे उनके माँ बाप यूज नहीं कराते थे उसके, क्योंकि महिलाओं को जानकारी नहीं था. तो इसलिए बच्ची बोलती है तो क्या है, जो आज के डेट में किशोरी बच्ची स्कूल पढ़ रही हैं, इसी की वजह से बाल किशोरी को पता चलता है कि ये पीरियड आने पर सबसे अच्छा महत्वपूर्ण सैनिटरी पैड है.
The unit in Dawa makes 4,000 to 5,000 sanitary pads a day. Their product, branded as Sangini, is available in markets in villages and towns in the district. Bureau Report, India Today.
welcome. You are watching India Today. The power, the glory, that's one possible measure of an individual's accomplishment in life. But it only traces the outer circumference of what is essentially an inner journey. India Today's annual High and Mighty list is here. It's the ultimate list of achievers from politics, business, sports, culture, and entertainment, whose resilience saw them navigate difficult times to remain right on top of their field and their game. The 50 people on our High and Mighty list were not born in another planet. They're ordinary mortals like you and I, yet extraordinary. Their little and big kingdoms were built out of each one's special blend of savvy, will, imagination, tenacity, and sometimes the sheer force of personality. Here is the top 10 of powerful people of India's Today's High and Mighty list 2023.
At number 10 of the most influential Indians is the evergreen superstar of Bollywood, Amitabh Bachchan. At the age of 80, he continues to defy age, excelling on the big and small screens. Last year, the Big B scored one of his biggest box office hits to date with Brahmastra Part 1, Shiva, which netted 230 crore rupees in India. Alongside, he hosted yet another successful season of Kaun Banega Crorepati. Mr. Bachchan Sr. is constantly reinventing himself to stay relevant. It is not the duration of a role, but its significance that matters to him. Last year's Jhund saw him play an everyman football coach to slum kids, and the upcoming multilingual film Project K, where he injured himself while filming an action sequence, are proof that he does not believe in resting on his laurels. At number 9 is the father-son duo of the Premji clan. 77-year-old founder chairman of Wipro, Azim Premji, is India's leading philanthropist. He's transferred most of his personal wealth to the Azim Premji Foundation, be it his shareholding in Wipro, Wipro Enterprises, or a range of assets owned through Premji Invest. This has created an endowment worth nearly $29 billion. On the other hand, under the stewardship of his 46-year-old son Rishad Premji, Wipro is now one of India's largest IT companies, with 90,490 crore rupees in gross revenues and 11,350 crore rupees net income in financial year 2022. 64-year-old Uday Kotak is at number 8 of the list this year. He has built Kotak Mahindra Bank as one of the finest financial institutions of India. With significant assets under management, Kotak Mahindra Bank is currently worth 4.21 lakh crore rupees. Global institutions too have entrusted over $8 billion in alternative assets. Uday Kotak's childhood passion was playing the sitar. This gentle and persuasive banking behemoth is the government's go-to person to resolve complex banking issues today. The chairman of the Adani Group, Gautam Adani, is Mr. Resilient at number 7 spot this time. This 60-year-old's appetite for expansion is only growing. Never mind that nasty hit by a company named after a Zeppelin that crashed, the down-to-earth clean energy pioneer plans to invest $70 billion by 2030 to build 3 gigafactories for solar modules, wind turbines and hydrogen electrolyzers, aligning his group's plans with the green energy thrust of the Indian government led by Prime Minister Modi, with whom his relationship goes back several years. N. Chandrasekharan is the consolidator-in-chief at number 6. This 59-year-old is the first non-Parsi and professional executive to head the Tata Group. The amiable and confident Chandrasekharan is transforming the $128 billion salt-to-software conglomerate. His coup de grace is a year after it bought the beleaguered Air India. The Tatas ordered 470 new planes from Airbus and Boeing in February with $70 billion per listed prices. It's the biggest such purchase in aviation history. Telecom titan Sunil Bharti Mittal is at number 5. Laser focused on business, the 65-year-old telecom tycoon constantly wants more despite a consumer base of 390 million and 6 million wired homes. Through tough times, Airtel has more than held its own as India's second largest player in mobile telephony and internet services after Reliance Jio. The first out with 5G, the high-energy Mittal is feverishly rolling out pan-India coverage, which he hopes to complete by the end of the next financial year. One can expect a tariff war between the two majors once that happens.
And it's one of the biggest slums.
63-year-old Sajjan Jindal is spreading his wings at the number 4 spot of Power People this year. The diversified JSW Group, with overall revenues of $22 billion, is firming up its presence in several growth sectors of the economy besides its flagship area of steel. It's aiming at energy, infrastructure, cement, paints, venture cap and sports. The group is powered by a 40,000-strong employee base. At 85, Ratan Tata is Eminence Greece at number 3 of this high and mighty list. As head of Tata Trust, the philanthropic arm that holds 66% share in Tata Sons, he remains the most venerated figure in the pantheon of Indian industrialists. He has a key role in the appointment of the chairman of Tata Sons, the holding company of the Tata Group. Tata Trust has developed and augmented 10 cancer care facilities across the country in Assam, Jharkhand, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. The Trust's distributed cancer control model makes world-class treatment accessible and affordable for people. The empire builder Kumar Mangalam Birla is at number 2. In his cool, unflappable manner, at 55, Birla plays the long game. No wonder his group's turnover catapulted to nearly 5 lakh crore last year, making it one of India's largest conglomerates. He continues to take India to the world. His metals business announced a $2.5 billion investment in a greenfield aluminium rolling and recycling plant in Alabama in the United States. It's the biggest such by an Indian business group in the US. Mukesh Ambani of Reliance Industries is a blazing force at the numero uno spot of the power people of India. He's a visionary who plays the big game and excels at it. His net worth of $87.9 billion makes him Asia's richest person in the Forbes reckoning. His canny helmsmanship of India's largest private enterprise allows him to retain his august perch as the biggest daddy of them all. That eye-popping market cap of 16.7 lakh crore rupees and revenues of 9.7 lakh crore aren't a fluke. His taxes alone total 1.9 lakh crore rupees.
Now, politics in India is more often than not a no-holds-barred power game. And a year before the mega general elections, this is the high and mighty countdown of what it looks like and little surprises on who leads the leaderboard.
At number 10 stands the 55-year-old Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal. Credited with successfully turning the Aam Aadmi Party into a national party in less than a decade, Aam Aadmi Party has built a new political model for success. The focus on affordable healthcare and quality school education has earned the Delhi CM a loyal voter base. And after the record second win in Delhi, his party swept up Punjab last year. Its latest victory in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi polls cemented his position as a regular thorn in the BJP side. At number 9 is JP Nadda. As president of the world's largest political party, he has carved out a space for himself despite working in the shadow of the Modi-Shah duo. And although the party took a beating in Karnataka, Nadda led the BJP to victory in Uttarakhand, UP, Goa, Manipur and Gujarat. Not to mention the coups in Maharashtra and MP. At number 8 stands Nitin Gadkari, who continues to command the image of being his own man. One who is unapologetic about his choices. Gadkari has set a scorching pace for his ministry. He has been a consistent performer during Modi's 2 terms and is credited with reviving the highways and ports sectors. Gadkari had set an official target of 12,000 kilometers of new highways in 2022-23. By March 31st, 10,331 kilometers were built. Nitish Kumar, Bihar's CM, also known as Mr. Dependable, stands at number 7. Adept at political cross-stitching, Nitish has bridged the gap between the Congress and other opposition parties and has emerged as the crucial adhesive needed to cobble together an anti-BJP front before the 2024 Lok Sabha poll. At number 6 stands Mamata Banerjee. Her Trinamool Congress may have lost national party status, and a sword of Damocles may hang over her party in terms of cases. But no one can write her off politically. The 68-year-old political crusader has given the call for a Paribartan at the centre in 2024. She had posed the TMC as the vanguard of an opposition phalanx, and although the idea has dimmed a bit in the wake of a Congress revival, but her grand standing against the BJP assures Mamata a front seat in any tie-up for 2024. At number 5 is Rahul Gandhi. His Bharat Jodo Yatra not only put life back into a dispirited Congress, it has also re-established its centrality in the fluid opposition space and perhaps recast him as a serious politician. It paid electoral dividends too. The Congress got its mojo back as it won back Karnataka. Even though he has been disqualified as a parliamentarian now, Rahul is the face of the grand old party. He is now the most vocal and influential opposition leader in the country, never shying from taking on the Prime Minister. Nearly 200 Lok Sabha seats will see a direct Congress-BJP contest in 2024, making his role as the keeper of the flame even more significant. At number 4 is the Chief Minister of UP, Yogi Adityanath, the most in-demand leader in the BJP's election campaigns after the Prime Minister. With a pan-India following, Adityanath has come into his own as a distinctive political brand with a real catchment area. After a scorching win in his re-election bid, Bulldozer Baba went into a silent zone of hardcore policy action, emerging only with his steely drive to take out mafia, his esteem going up a few notches in the process. Standing together at number 3 are the RSS luminaries Mohan Bhagwat and Dattatreya Hosabale. Bhagwat's views as RSS Supremo are a veritable policy directive to the centre as well as the 16 states the BJP controls. The Sangh influence is visible in policy initiatives such as the construction of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, abrogation of Article 370, anti-conversion laws, and BJP's commitment to bring in the Uniform Civil Code. As the RSS chief executive, Hosabale deals with the everyday minutiae in the work of the Sangh movement. His lieutenants are in crucial positions in the BJP, driving the party's national agenda, and by extension, the agenda of the Sangh. At number 2, standing tall, is Amit Shah. After a career-long alliance, Shah remains Modi's supreme Senapati. This covers all political matters, including dealing with the RSS and its affiliates on policy, harvesting turncoats, tamping down on any crisis, and handling everything from the big picture to the slightest nuance as chief strategist of every poll campaign. The onus is on him to keep the slate clean on terror and extremism, interstate gangsters and Maoist insurgency, while also monitoring peace talks with separatist outfits in the northeast and being de facto administrator of Jammu and Kashmir. And at number 1, standing tall, is the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. His larger-than-life personality is etched everywhere. He is the alpha and omega of the BJP's election campaigns, and he goes into the next general election as the only Prime Minister after Nehru with the chance to win a third straight mandate. Behind all that iconicity is a beaver-like builder always working on the prototype for the next big idea in Chintan Shivers, with bureaucrats, virtual sessions with social groups, and in every party meeting.
India Today's annual High and Mighty list is out in a year when India officially became the most populous nation on the planet ever. It's perhaps less surprising to see so many of our tribe running the show elsewhere in the world. So let's take a look at the top 10 Indians globally.
Tell me you've never seen my face before. I was in a train. There was an explosion.
At number 10, building her own citadel is Priyanka Chopra Jonas.
Or anything except you.
PC is one of the few Indian immigrants to have made inroads in Hollywood.
But I don't know if this is too forward or anything, but...
From headlining Amazon Prime spy series Citadel to signing a deal with the service to produce more diverse content with special emphasis on female stories, Chopra Jonas has well proved her mettle in a new industry. At number 9 stands Netflix's Bela Bajaria, one of the most powerful executives in the global entertainment industry, as she decides how the streamer's annual content budget of $17 billion is to be spent and greenlight stories that 232.5 million subscribers will watch the world over. At number 8 stands Gopichand Hinduja. He and his family are the richest people in the United Kingdom and some of the most influential Asians, with a wealth of £35 billion as per the Sunday Times Rich List. Their assets include property worth millions in central London. Gopichand oversees the diverse global business empire that straddles sectors such as automotive, IT, media and entertainment, infrastructure, oil and specialty chemicals, power and real estate, and employs 200,000 people. At number 7 stands Ellen Mittal. He is the largest shareholder of the world's biggest steel maker outside of China, with a revenue of $79.8 billion in 2022. He made it to the 6th spot in the Sunday Times 2022 list of the richest people in the UK, with an estimated fortune of £17 billion. 63-year-old Ajay Banga stands at number 6. He is an insider with the US administration, having served on the Public-Private Partnership for Central America with Kamala Harris and earlier on the Advisory Committee for Trade Policy under President Barack Obama. In 2023, he was elected to head the World Bank as its 14th president. At number 5, in her role as the first Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund, stands Geeta Gopinath. She has earned admiration as she represents the fund at multilateral forums, maintains high-level contacts with governments and board members, and leads the fund's work on surveillance and related policies. At number 4 stands the 50-year-old CEO of Google, Sundar Pichai, one of the highest-paid executives in the tech business. Pichai's 2022 compensation topped $226 million. Under Pichai's leadership, Google is leveraging AI to develop a slew of world-changing products, from autonomously written emails to Bard, Google's conversational AI, which was launched in India on May 11 this year, 2023. At number 3, leading the AI brigade is Satya Nadella. In January 22, Nadella was awarded the Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civil honor, in the trade and industry category.
Nadella and Microsoft are among the leaders in the development of AI, artificial intelligence-based products, with Microsoft having invested about $13 billion in OpenAI, the lab that developed ChatGPT. At number 2 on the list stands Kamala Harris, the first woman, the first African American, and the first South Asian American to be elected vice president. Will be crucial as President Joe Biden seeks a second term. As running mate of the oldest president in history, Harris is leading the Democrats' charge on various issues. Harris is also important as a barrier-breaking idol for black women voters. Harris is a key actor in delineating US foreign policy abroad, with the Biden administration seeking to undo Trump's abrasive America First dictum. She helped passage of a $2 billion COVID stimulus bill, is involved in shaping policy on healthcare, education and immigration. And in the numero uno position on the high and mighty list of global Indians is the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Britain's youngest PM in 2 centuries and the first of Indian origin, had a calming influence on the financial markets and averted an economic meltdown after Liz Truss's financial policy sparked panic. Under Sunak, Britain has been one of the staunchest supporters of Ukraine. He has visited Kyiv once and has hosted President Volodymyr Zelensky twice. It has pledged more sophisticated weapons than other countries, including air defense missiles, armed drones and cruise missiles for Ukraine to defend itself against Russian aggression.
So that's it. That's the end of our list. We congratulate all who made it to the prestigious cut. A big congratulations. With that, it's a wrap. On the other side, news and updates continue.
Funding winter is taking a heavy toll on Indian startups. Sakshi?
Well, that's right. It's another day, another write-down, and valuation cuts continue to plague unicorn startups in India. Now, we've seen in the recent weeks that many marquee investors have been slashing valuations of a number of new age technology companies, including Byju's, Ola, and even Swiggy. In fact, it's Byju's which has faced a reduction in valuations by BlackRock, the global leader in asset management, for the second time this year. In fact, BlackRock, which owns less than 1% in Byju's, has now valued the firm at $8.2 billion. That is 62.7% lower than the $22 billion valuation that the company was ascribed to in October of 2022. Now, this markdown comes right after February, when BlackRock had slashed the valuation of Byju's to about $11 billion. Now, apart from this, US-based investor Fidelity Investments has also cut the fair value of its holding in e-commerce firm Meesho by around 10% to around $4.4 billion. Now, it had originally led a Series F round in the startup at a valuation of $4.9 billion. Now, remember that valuation is a mix of fundamentals, potential and market sentiment, and the current market sentiment is driven by high interest rates and has increased the cost of capital and has also forced startups to focus more on profitability rather than growth. Now, in the absence of profits and the external validations of valuations through funding rounds, accounting standards and investor risk frameworks definitely demand markdowns of valuations. Experts, however, believe that although markdowns do not directly impact the companies, they may still have unfavorable implications for the future funding rounds of these companies and even the IPO plans of these firms going forward.
Pranav Salkar saw his mother struggle to get water after coming back from work every day. The nearest source of water was half a kilometer away. Pained by this sight, the 14-year-old took matters into his own hands. He started digging a well, and in 4 days, he struck gold.
त्याला मी एक सूचना दिली होती काही ते कोण कण थोडंसा पाणी लागतो का आपण बघूया. नंतर आम्ही मग कामावर जायची सुरुवात केली. मग त्यांनी मनापासून सुरुवात केली खोदायला. त्याच्याकरता त्यांनी खोदता 3-4 दिवस त्यांनी लावले आणि पाणी लागलं.
Pranav's parents speak fondly of their son's efforts. They recount how he had made a ladder to dig out soil from the pit.
आम्ही मजुरी करतो आणि संध्याकाळी येतो काम करून. मग मला त्रास होतो म्हणून माझ्या मुलाने विहीर खोदली 4 दिवसात. मला आनंद वाटतो.
ते पाणी तुम्ही वापरता का?
त्या पाणी आम्ही वापरतो.
Kelve village in Palghar gets piped water thrice a week. To Pranav's parents, who work as labourers, the well is a relief. And it goes without saying, Pranav is now a hero in his village. Bureau Report, India Today.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
Is there enough understanding of lifestyle diseases? That's the big question.
The only news channel to focus on what matters the most, and that is your health. India's news TV industry's only health show. India Today's relentless effort to bring to you the best reports and the best medical and wellness experts on health, lifestyle, wellness and more. Watch Health 360 with Sneha Mordani at these times, only on India Today.
Breaking news coming in. This bridge has collapsed in Bihar's Bhagalpur. Getting you the visuals and the latest. It's an under construction bridge that has collapsed in Bihar's Bhagalpur. This is all we know so far. We are waiting more details, but this is the breaking news that we're bringing to you at this point. For now, we're awaiting more information. Our reporters will also get us more information. We're also verifying a few facts before putting them out. But this horrific incident has been caught on camera. The Bhagalpur bridge has collapsed in Bihar. Whether there were casualties, no casualties, what really happened there, the cause of the collapse, who was the contractor, all these details will surface in moments from now. But for now, what we can confirm is this fall has been caught on camera. It was an under construction bridge that has collapsed in Bihar's Bhagalpur. It is Agwani Sultanganj Ganga Bridge that was being constructed in Bihar. The cost of which, according to our India Today website, is over rupees 1,700 crore rupees. And this is an under construction bridge that has collapsed in Bihar's Bhagalpur. This is taking place today, which is Sunday, 4th of June. Visuals caught on camera. You can see two parts of the bridge collapsing, one after the other. This bridge was being constructed in Bhagalpur in Bihar's Khagaria, the cost of which has been pegged at over 1,700 crore rupees. We're getting more reports, we're getting more information that we can bring you in moments from now. The data collection is on. We are also verifying a few facts before putting them out, but what we can tell you for a fact is this is a dramatic bridge collapse under construction, which is in caught on camera. It happened in Bihar, in Bhagalpur. Today, that is Sunday, 4th of June. This is an India Today exclusive video that we are playing out on your screens right now. Rohit Kumar now joins us. Rohit, we've been reporting tragedy after tragedy, and all of this has to do with infrastructure in India. At this point, you've got us the exclusive story of how this bridge has collapsed on camera. The middle portion of the bridge has collapsed, the split into two parts. And please correct me if I'm wrong, a part of this bridge had collapsed even 2 years ago.
Absolutely, Chaiti, but not 2 years back. In fact, a major portion of this bridge, which is an under construction bridge on the Ganga to connect Bhagalpur with Khagaria, had collapsed last year also in the month of April. And you know what was the reason that was cited that time when the entire portion was collapsed? The reason was that there was a strong wind that was blowing in Bhagalpur and Khagaria area, that it was raining heavily, and that is why a major portion of that bridge had collapsed. And that had made it not only national but international news also, that how bridges in Bihar, they collapsed because of wind and rainfall. And even Nitin Gadkari that time, the union minister, had taken pot shots at the reason that was cited by the state government
It's an absurd reason. You know, what is going on in Bihar? Are they using low quality products? Is there raw material of low quality? Who are these contractors? Because the most absurd reason, despite you and I not being engineers, can say that cannot be the reason cited for the collapse of the bridge.
Absolutely, as I was mentioning that last year also this same incident had happened, and still no action has been taken against those who were responsible for that, because the state government that time had said that inquiry will be conducted. But what was the conclusion that happened? Where's the report? Has any action been taken or not? Did not come to light. And now today we are seeing that once again, when this bridge was being constructed, this under construction bridge, a major portion, about 100 meters, has collapsed again in the Ganga, and clearly goes on to show that this is a bridge of corruption that is being built in Bihar, because not once but twice the major portion of this entire bridge has collapsed in the Ganga, and all raises questions on what the state government is doing, especially the Road and Construction Department and Bihar State Pul Nirman Nigam. Tejasvi Yadav, of whom happens to be
all of this, the frequent bridge collapses only point to the quality of materials that are being used to make this bridge, and accountability will always lie with the state government, with the authorities, with the contractors who've been hired, and the quality of work and material that is being used.
Obviously, questions are being raised as to what kind of material is being used in constructing this bridge, because remember, this entire construction began in 2015 and was supposed to end in 2019. But even after 4 years of delay, the bridge is still under construction, and not once but twice the bridge has collapsed in the Ganga, and clearly raises question the kind of material that is being used by the construction company, and clearly indicates, Kathy, there's no harm in saying that there's rampant corruption. It appears.
Ajay Alok of the Bharatiya Janata Party is joining us on the phone line. Mr. Alok, your first up reaction on this bridge collapse, and as my colleague was just mentioning, this is not the first time that this under construction bridge has been collapsed. We are also seeing a spate of bridge collapses in Bihar. They've been happening with an alarming regularity. What would you like to say today on the back of this, on the back of the quality of work, on the material that is being used as well?
Well, this is not the first time. Your colleague was pretty right, and your colleague must be knowing that the similar bridge collapse happened in the same region of Munger, the Bhagalpur-Munger region. All the bridge contracts, all the road contracts are given to a particular company, and by those only the collapse is happening. So this is an open and shut case of corruption, and I guess the state government does not have the courage to inquire it. Everything will be under the wrap. So just wait for some time. Till the time the state government is there, nothing is going to happen. This kind of corruption will continue to prevail. Once they are out of the power, we'll get it investigated. That is for sure.
But Mr. Alok, it's very disconcerting. It is very, very unsettling that an under construction bridge collapses not once but twice. And not just that, you're seeing other bridges also collapse in Bihar. What's the guarantee that once they're completely built, they will not collapse too?
See, this is not the problem. I'm telling you very pointedly that this is the region, Bhagalpur-Munger region, comes under the same commissionary, the similar company is being allotted the contract, and these bridges are only collapsing. And in spite of the failure of the doing proper work, they are still getting contracts. And they are still getting all the kind of government contracts. This is in collusion with politicians, contractors. This is a collusion, this is a nexus. So, and this will continue to happen because the state government is of Nitish Kumar.
Right. It seems like we've not learned our lessons from Morbi Bridge collapse.
They are not ready to learn any lessons. They are here for corruption, and they'll continue doing it. No matter how much you and me keep on saying about it, they are at least concerned, they are at least bothered. Tomorrow a tender comes, again the same company will get the contract.
And that's a question that you should ask the Nitish Kumar government time and again. Are you doing that?
We are doing it. And mind you, the road and the bridges construction comes under the PWD, which happens to be under the Deputy Chief Minister. He's directly looking under it. So you can understand the next year.
Right. Mr. Alok, one last question before we let you go. What is the centre doing in the middle of all of this? Your party is in power at the centre?
Well, the centre cannot interfere in the state subject unless asked for.
There can be a comprehensive bridge maintenance policy, right?
Exactly. The centre has no role to play in it. It's basically a state government job. It's a federal structure where centre can't interfere in certain subjects. But this is a rampant corruption maybe the High Court should take a notice of it. Patna High Court should take a notice and order an inquiry. A judicial inquiry, maybe then something can come up.
Absolutely. Mr. Alok, thank you for joining us with those quick reaction. Bhagalpur DM is now joining us. What really happened over there?
The situation is under control. There was a bridge under construction connecting Bhagalpur and Khagaria. So there was a report that the slabs between pole number 9 and 12 have collapsed. So immediately the local administration was sent there. And for now, there has been no casualties or injuries reported. The SDRF team is also there. They have also checked, and we'll do a recce operation once again. So for now, there's there's no situation as such which is of very disastrous sense.
I mean, it's good to know that there are no casualties that have happened, but that seems to be a mere coincidence. What if there could be a tragedy that could happen? Where are the questions being asked? Is accountability being fixed, sir?
No, certainly there could be some technical flaws for which there's already a deputy team which is inspecting. And in case there's any fault that is found either from the construction department side, accordingly actions will be taken.
My colleague tells me this is not the first time this bridge has collapsed.
Yeah, there were other slabs which had collapsed last year, and due to which there has been a regular inspection being done. So now the point is that since it has occurred again, so there has to be some technical flaws which needs to be inspected.
But will you be also probing the corruption angle in this, given the fact that the questions are definitely arising on the low quality of materials that are being procured?
Certainly, if any such information that will come up now with regards to this, so it will definitely be probed.
And what about the further thorough probe going forward as well? Because this seems like a criminal nexus of Netas and Babus.
No, nothing can be certain as of now because there can be some technical issues also. So without going into it, first let's see what the investigation report tells us.
Because we were not convinced the last time that we were told that this was because of rain and fog and heavy winds blowing, because even a child can, and without an engineering degree, I can tell you that that explanation seemed to be a hogwash.
I cannot confirm you about the last time, but for certainly this time, since the incident has happened, so we'll be probing it from all the various angles as possible.
All right, appreciate you joining us on this broadcast. We're getting some more reactions coming in. Listen in.
खगड़िया के बीच अगवानी घाट पर निर्माणाधीन पुल जो गंगा के बीच में अवस्थित है, पुल का टूटना निश्चित रूप से जिला प्रशासन ने जो अद्यतन जानकारी दी है कि अभियंताओं की टीम को वहां भेजा गया है और बिहार राज्य पुल निर्माण निगम इसकी निर्माणाधीन एजेंसी है, वह आखिर क्या कारण है, पानी का बहाव अथवा और कोई तकनीकी पक्ष है, जो इस संबंध में अद्यतन कार्रवाई की प्रक्रिया प्रारंभ हुई है। जो भी फलाफल आएगा उसके संबंध में तत्संबंधी कार्रवाई सुनिश्चित की। सुल्तानगंज खगड़िया के बीच अगवानी घाट पर निर्माणाधीन पुल जो गंगा के बीच में अवस्थित है, पुल का टूटना निश्चित रूप से जिला प्रशासन ने
नीतीश कुमार की सरकार पुल ध्वस्त हो रहा है और नीतीश कुमार की सरकार मस्त होकर देश घूम रही है। आज भ्रष्टाचारी सरकार, नीतीश कुमार की सरकार पूरी तरह भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त है और नीतीश कुमार जी को थोड़ा सा भी नैतिकता बचा है तो तुरंत इस्तीफा करना चाहिए। आज नीतीश कुमार जी के चलते पूरे बिहार के सड़कों का बुरा स्थिति है और सारे पुल ध्वस्त हो रहे हैं। इसमें जिम्मेदार सिर्फ और सिर्फ नीतीश कुमार है।
Okay, big breaking news coming in. 1,717 crore rupees worth of bridge down that river. It's a sorry state of infrastructure in Bihar. Over 1,700 crore rupees is the cost of the bridge, and thank God that there was no casualty. Just imagine if there were people right there in the water body, what could have happened? This is all the taxpayers' money that has gone down the drain, and as my colleague pointed out, Rohit, this is not the first time that the bridge has collapsed. Big question arising on the corruption angle, as the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson pointed out, how it could be an open and closed case of corruption as well. Questions arising on fixing of the authority, whether the authorities have taken cognizance of this and now accountability will be fixed or not. Many questions arise as to why there are so many bridge collapses happening in Bihar. They are happening with alarming regularity. At the moment, we are getting you more details in terms of what really transpired over there. Rohit is with us. Rohit, what are your sources telling you? What has happened due to which the bridge collapsed?
Well, the engineers have reached the spot where this entire incident has happened, and the state government is maintaining that they are trying to ascertain the reason behind this bridge collapse, whether because of the strong water current or whether some other reason because of erosion this bridge has collapsed. That all needs to be ascertained, and that is why an inquiry is going on. A team of engineers, as the district administration has also claimed, are on the spot and trying to find out. But the question is, Chaiti, as we have been asking, that this is not the first time that this incident has happened. Just last year, in the month of April, also a major portion of this bridge had collapsed, and it's a huge project. It's a dream project of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Approximately 1,700 crore rupees worth project is this. The construction of which began in 2015, was supposed to be completed in 2019, but till now the bridge is not ready, and the reasons are very obvious, because it seems that because of the rampant corruption that is going on, that this bridge is collapsing every time. This is the second time this has happened, and the BJP here is hitting out at the Chief Minister, hitting out at the state government on the issue of corruption, leveling charges of corruption, and that is rampant, because of which the bridges are collapsing not once but twice. And the state government also right now is on the back foot. They are claiming that they have
Special probe that has been ordered into this bridge collapse. Rohit, are you picking up anything from your sources on that front?
What we are learning is that, as we told you, the district administration has sent a team of engineers, and an inquiry has begun on as to why this entire incident has happened. But the question is, Chaiti, this is not the first time, as I have been telling you. Last year also the bridge had collapsed, and inquiry was conducted. But what was the report? Where is the report? What action has been taken against the officials? Nothing is in the public domain. Nobody knows that whether any action has been taken also or not in the last year's incident. And now when again this inquiry has started, so what kind of action will be taken? Will something come in the public domain or not? Whether we will come to know or not is also remains a big question. So that is why questions are being raised on the state government, and especially because on Tejasvi Yadav, he happens to be the deputy chief minister, and also the road construction department, the bridge and the department under which the bridges are being constructed is under him. So questions are being raised on the Tejasvi Yadav also, that what kind of work is going on as far as this department is concerned, that bridges not once but twice are collapsing in the Ganga, and still no action is being taken against anyone. Chaiti.
And this is most unsettling and disconcerting, with a growing amount of bridges collapsing in Bihar. This was an under construction one. Coincidentally, there were no casualties, and if I could confirm that with you as well once, Rohit.
Yes, that is what we are learning. That is what that the district administration has also claimed, that thankfully there was no one who was present in that area when that entire bridge had collapsed. So they are just happy with the fact that there has been no casualty as far as the bridge collapse is concerned. But absolutely shocking and horrific visuals we are seeing here, at how almost 100 meters a portion of this bridge is collapsing in the middle of the Ganga, and the state government is absolutely doing nothing. 2 times this incident is happening back to back in 2 years, and still the bridge is not constructed, and rampant corruption and the charges of corruption are being leveled on the state government. So big questions being raised on Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and how the engineers, how his officials
Should be a
are
thorough
trying to
probe,
fulfill his
Rohit. There should be a thorough probe into finding out the nexus between who was given this particular contract, how much did they procure the raw materials for, how much of that was used up to even construct this bridge, and those financial irregularities could also paint a better picture in terms of whether there is a corruption angle involved or not, given the fact that you are seeing this happening too frequently.
Absolutely. The construction company in this case is SP Singla construction company, which is building most of the infrastructure in Bihar. And the question is that when you see that the major portion of this bridge had already collapsed last year, so why no action was taken against this construction company, and why this construction company still continues to enjoy the support of the state government, and why this construction company is carrying on with this again the construction of this bridge on the Ganga, which has again collapsed today.
The first time that the bridge collapsed, the same construction company was the one building the bridge, and that construction company was not sacked, and they continued building the second bridge as well. If you could also once again for our viewers, name the construction company.
Well, it's the SP Singla construction company, Chetty, and this construction company is carrying out most of the infrastructure development projects in Bihar. And last year also, when this bridge was being constructed by this construction company, a major portion of this bridge had collapsed. Inquiry was set up. It was said that the inquiry has been conducted. But where is the report? What action was taken against anyone? Was any action taken against the construction company? Nothing is known. Nothing is in the public domain, and that construction company still continues to build that bridge. And again, we are seeing today that this bridge has again collapsed in the Ganga. So now questions are being raised as to why
we know about the construction company in terms of the proprietors. Do we have any information on that front?
No word coming on as far as the SP Singla construction company is concerned. Nobody is willing to talk as far as this company is concerned. It's only the state government and the political parties that are coming out and reacting to this entire issue of bridge collapses in Bihar. 2 times in 2 years, this bridge has collapsed, and it was supposed to be the dream project of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar of building bridge on the Ganga to connect Bhagalpur with Khagaria. But the kind of rampant corruption you see is being witnessed, as the BJP is also alleging. It is because of that you see that in back-to-back in 2 years, the bridge is collapsing. They are trying to build this bridge. Again, this under construction bridge is collapsing, and today the same thing has happened. So now the state government has a lot of answering to do as to why they are continuing with this construction company and why no action was taken last time also when a similar incident has happened, and now this incident has happened again. Will any action be taken this time around?
The manner in which this tender was given to this particular construction company, who authorized it, what was the state government's involvement too, because that will paint a better picture for our viewers to decide what could have perhaps gone on until the entire final probe is over.
Well, that is all a part of the investigation and the inquiry which will be conducted this time also, Kathy, as I believe. But the question, as we have been raising, is that SP Singla Construction Company, as I was telling, is doing most of the construction work in Bihar as far as road construction is concerned. Some buildings are concerned or bridges are concerned. It's the SP Singla company which is doing most of the work here. And when you see that a dream project of the Chief Minister is collapsing 2 times in the Ganga, and it's absolutely shocking and horrific to see these visuals. And the people there are also leveling charges of corruption. The opposition here leveling charges of corruption. So that angle has to be probed. That what kind of material is being used.
Because the process of acquiring tenders and constructing bridges is very important when you have a bridge of this nature that ends up collapsing, to know and assess whether the process was rigged or not, and a thorough probe is really required as far as this incident is concerned too. I just spoke to the DM a while back of that particular area. Listen in to what the DM had to say.
The situation is under control. There was a bridge under construction connecting Bhagalpur and Khagaria. So there was a report that the slabs between pole number 9 and 12 have collapsed. So immediately the local administration was sent there. And for now, there has been no casualties or injuries reported. The SDRF team is also there. They've also checked, and we'll do a recce operation once again. So for now, there's there's no situation as such which is of very disastrous one. The situation is under control. There was a bridge under construction connecting Bhagalpur and Kagariya. So there was a report that the slabs between pole number 9 and 12 have collapsed. So immediately the local administration was sent there. And for now, there's been no casualties or injuries reported. SDRF team is also there. They've also checked, and we'll do a recce operation once again. So for now, there's there's no situation as such which is of very disastrous one.
All right, Rohit still continues to be with us right there. Rohit, you heard what the DM has to say. What are the latest updates that are trickling in? What are you picking up from your sources? Because this is shocking how this bridge just comes crashing down, which is underdeveloped, which is under construction, and not for the first time.
Kathy, I have a piece of breaking news. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has intervened in this entire issue, and a statement has come. The statement says that मुख्यमंत्री ने दोषियों को चिन्हित कर कठोर कार्रवाई करने के निर्देश दिए हैं, meaning that the Chief Minister has ordered to find who are the guilty person, guilty officials, engineers in this entire case, and take strict action against them. And he also says that he has also sought a detailed report in this entire bridge collapse. That is the second part of the statement that has been issued by the Chief Minister Office, that action will be taken against all the officials who are guilty if they are found. And secondly, a detailed report has been sought by the Chief Minister in this entire case, and he has also ordered a high-level inquiry in this entire case to ensure that appropriate action is taken against all those guilty persons who are identified for some kind of a negligence here. So, three pieces of news is there. The Chief Minister has intervened in this entire issue. He has sought a detailed report in this entire bridge collapse case, and also ordered that all those culprits, officials, engineers who are responsible for this negligence will be identified and strict action will be taken against them. So that's the piece of breaking news that we are giving here on to our viewers on India Today, that Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has now intervened in this entire issue of bridge collapse and has sought a detailed report and also promised action against the guilty officials and engineers.
One thing, Rohit, did he see the same thing last time as well? Was this his reaction the last time around too? Because obviously something doesn't add up over here, given the fact that nobody knows why the bridge collapsed the last time around. There is no detailed report, and the blame was put on wind and fog.
Absolutely. See, this was the same kind of a reaction that we got last time also when the bridge had collapsed in April 2022. Again, an inquiry was set up that time, but nobody knows what happened to that inquiry. Where is that report? And if the report was submitted to the state government, what action was taken against anyone? Was any official or was any engineer? Have there been any suspension that has taken place? Any action that has taken place against the construction company? Nothing is in the public domain. So that's a big question. That is this entire inquiry now, which has been again initiated in this entire case, is it just a mere eyewash as it appears to have taken place the last time around also in 2022? So now we are seeing that the Chief Minister Office has intervened, Nitish Kumar has intervened in this entire matter, sought a detailed report and is promising action. But big questions remain that whether the probe report will ever come to the public domain, and will any action will be taken against the guilty officials, engineers, whosoever is found here. That remains a big question, Chaiti.
Absolutely right. If there was no report that came in from the last bridge collapse, there is very little expectation that something would be done this time around as well. As far as the corruption angle is concerned, is there anyone probing the corruption angle?
That is a big question, Chaiti, because it appears that there is rampant corruption, because you cannot have a dream project of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and you see that twice a bridge is collapsing, and the last time it was absolutely ridiculous and the bizarre kind of reason that was given by the state government, that because it was raining heavily in that area, and because the wind was also blowing at a high velocity, and that is why the entire bridge collapsed in Ganga. So that was a hilarious reason that was cited behind the collapse of the bridge. And obviously we saw that time that the kind of bizarre reason that was put forward made international headlines also, that the bridges in Bihar, they collapse just because of the velocity of the wind. If the velocity is high, the bridge will collapse, and if it rains also, the bridge will collapse. And Nitin Gadkari, the union minister, also had taken a jibe at the state government that time, and had at one of the function, I remember,
if Mr. Nitish Kumar as the chief minister would really want to act, and had he wanted to act the last time around, he would have changed the contractors who were working on it. Very clearly, the contractors were not changed from what you tell me. It's the same contractors continuing to do their job. So what changes the third time around when they try attempting this bridge?
Well, that remains a big question, because you see, SP Singla Construction Company, which is constructing this bridge, was in fact last time no action was taken then also. Obviously, questions will be raised as to what kind of is the process through which this company gets the tender for constructing bridges in Bihar, and what kind of material is being used. And if last time also we saw that the bridge had collapsed, so why this company was allowed to further continue with the construction of the bridge on Ganga in Bhagalpur and Khagaria. And now the second time this incident has again happened. So now question will remain that will this company be blacklisted in Bihar, because you see this back to back, this is happening in the 2 years that the SP Singla Construction Company, which is building bridges in Bihar and especially in Bhagalpur and Khagaria.
And the big question will always arise on SP Singla Construction Company, and why is it we're still winning government contracts in the state of Bihar? India Today is bringing you exclusive visuals of this dramatic collapse of the under construction bridge in Bihar. Just look at what happened there. Just look at that. Saw the shocking bridge collapse for yourself on the screens, and this is the same bridge, viewers, that did collapse last year as well, according to our reporter who's bringing us all the information. Questions arising on the corruption and the nexus between the construction company, the babus, the netas, etc. Now we are also being joined by our reporter who's bringing us up to speed with the developments. Rohit, you got us this official informal statement that came in from Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. All right, I'm being told there are some more fresh reactions coming in. Listen in.
जो अजगबीनाथ जी का मंदिर है सुल्तानगंज में, उससे लाखों करोड़ों लोग आते हैं वहाँ। जितने लोग देवघर जाते हैं उतने लोग बाबा अजगबीनाथ के मंदिर में भी आते हैं, और यहीं से उत्तर वाहिनी गंगा बहती है। यहाँ से जल उठता है और जाकर बाबा बैद्यनाथ के यहाँ डलता है, और ये पुल पूरे बिहार के लोगों की उम्मीद का पुल था। हम लोग बहुत दिन से इसकी मांग कर रहे थे, लेकिन पहले एक बार जब उसका स्ट्रक्चर था, हवा जब बही तो वो उड़ गया आंधी में, लोहे का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर, और अभी पूरा पिलर गिर के पूरा पुल ही दह गया। और ये जांच का विषय है, इसके लिए हाई पावर कमेटी बनानी चाहिए, उसकी जांच करनी चाहिए। ये कंपनी बहुत छोटी सी थी, ये बिहार में आकर इसने बहुत सारे पुल बनाए हैं। जितने पुल सिंगला कंपनी ने बनाए हैं उन सब पुल की जांच करनी चाहिए। कितना, कई जगह तो लोग कहते हैं पाया पूरा डालता ही नहीं, यानी पाया डालना है 100 फीट तो थोड़ा डाल के ऊपर ही पुल बना देता है, तो बैठेगा तो नहीं। तो ये हमारे यहाँ विजय घाट पुल भी इस भागलपुर में इसी कंपनी ने बनाया। कोसी पर कई बड़े सेतु बनाए हैं, और अब इसके बनाए पुल पर लोग चलने से घबरा रहे हैं। और जितने पुल इसने बनाए हैं उन सब की जांच होनी चाहिए। पूरा भ्रष्टाचार का जीता जागता प्रतीक है। कभी नहीं हुआ देश के इतिहास में कि कोई पुल बन गया हो, पहले हवा की आंधी में उड़ जाए ऊपर का स्ट्रक्चर, बाद में पानी का बहाव आए उसमें पूरा पुल ही उड़ जाए, धंस के रह जाए। ऐसी घटना तो कभी नहीं हुई। और इसमें पूरी तरह भ्रष्टाचार है, ये कोई दुर्घटना नहीं है, बल्कि भ्रष्टाचार का सिंबल है। और जितने पुल इस कंपनी ने बनाए हैं सबकी जांच के बाद जो राष्ट्रीय स्तर की बड़ी एजेंसी है जो वो उसकी जांच करे, तब लोगों को आवाजाही के लिए कहा जाए। क्योंकि ये सारे जितने पुल बनाए हैं सब में भ्रष्टाचार उसकी जड़ में है।
ये पुल का बनाने का था, इसको लेकर
1700
करोड़ था, उसको लेकर के आप क्या कहेंगे?
नहीं, देखिए ये सिंगला कंपनी जितना भी काम वहाँ करती है, खासकर बिहार में, सबसे ज़्यादा बिहार से ही वो कंपनी बढ़ी है। लेकिन वो तो खुदा का शुक्र है कि कई जगह पुल अभी सही सलामत है, लेकिन ज़्यादातर पुल जो है बिहार के अंदर, ज़्यादातर पुल का टेंडर इसी को मिलता है। ज़्यादातर पुल यही बनाता है। पुल बनाने में भारी भ्रष्टाचार हुआ है और उसका नतीजा है कि ये पुल उड़ गया है। इसलिए इस कंपनी की पूरी तरह जांच करनी चाहिए।
Okay, we are getting those reactions trickling in live. The Bharatiya Janata Party is questioning the competence. They are questioning the corruption angle as well. They want a thorough probe to take place on this corruption and incompetence that is destroying these bridges. And viewers, this is not the first time this bridge has collapsed. This is an under construction bridge which has collapsed twice. It collapsed once last year as well. We've been reporting that for you. Do we have Rohit with us? Rohit will be joining us in moments from now, and big questions arising on the corruption angle as well, and many questions on why is it that these bridges keep snapping in Nitish Kumar's Bihar. What is behind the frequent cases of the bridge collapse in Bihar? This is a newly being constructed, under construction bridge. It snapped into two dramatically, as you can see on your screens right there. And thank God there was nobody there. Thank God there were no casualties. There could have been somebody in the water body who could have suffered injury or even worse, died. Now, the question arises is that how will Nitish Kumar act? The last time around, a similar statement was issued where he said a probe would be taking place. And this time around too, the same script is being repeated, and time and again you are seeing the same script being repeated, almost like a deja vu situation, but nothing really changes. I spoke to the DM a while back. Listen in to what the DM had to say.
The situation is under control. There was a bridge under construction connecting Bhagalpur and Kagariya. So there was a report that the slabs between pole number 9 and 12 have collapsed. So immediately the local administration was sent there. And for now, there's been no casualties or injuries reported. SDRF team is also there. They've also checked, and we'll do a recce operation once again. So for now, there's there's no situation as such which is of very disastrous sense.
Rohit is joining us live. Rohit, for our viewers who have just tuned in, they are seeing how the taxpayer money has been reduced to rubble, not once, but for the second time around. The last time we saw Nitish Kumar issue a statement, second time around a similar statement. But what really happens? There is life beyond issuing these statements.
Well, that is a big question, that what happens after such incidents take place. That's a big question, because remember last time also in April 2022, this kind of incident has happened with the same project. And that time also a major portion of this bridge over Ganga had collapsed, several pillars